Yo guys, welcome back to a video, and today it is my team, so make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on, and we're going to be starting our my team journey to the top of Formula 1. So let's get into it. We're selecting the my team thing. We're going to do a full season, and we're going to use our custom settings. So that in those custom settings, we're going to be looking at the assists, which I run all the assists off apart from traction control and racing line. And in career settings, we're going to have everything set on default apart from fault frequency and fault types. And these sliders are basically like what you get in FIFA, basically, because EA bought Codemasters, so decided to add that in, I think. But we're going to put the fault frequency on standard and fault types on high, so we get some mechanical failures. Hope you can hear me loud. Anyway, on to rules and flags. We're putting stuff on here, and then AI difficulty, we're running 103% AI. And I got flashbacks on, but I'm going to try not to use it. We're going to have simulation damage and simulation damage rate. We're going to have low fuel mode and easy because I don't know how it works. Actually, no, forget that, we're having it on hard. Manual race starts and forecast approximate. And qualifying format, we're doing full, and stretching length, we're doing 50% race. So let's confirm those settings, and the next thing we have to pick is if we want to use the Mighty Microns, because I have the digital deluxe edition. I pressed skip, and then I decided let's go back and actually add them, as you would see right now. We're going to use the Mighty Microns, and let's start making. Right, here we go then. We're going to start making our driver now, and I'm going to use the face of Aiden Jackson because I have that in the game and I like his face. Okay. Country, I'm from the Utah. Name, private information. No, I'm joking, but you'll find out soon. Right. Now. Ish. I don't know, he never says. But it will say. So, here we go. So now we're going to pick our audio name, which, because we got Aiden Jackson's face, I thought, let's go with Jackson, because he's in the breaking point, and he's a good character, actually. So, there's Jackson, and let's have a quick listen to it. Okay, there we go. That was quick listen. And I'll go start to drive now. I was going to pick 15, well, I was going to pick 14, but Fernando Alonso got that. I was going to pick 15, but one of you have two drivers has that. So we're just going through the numbers, and I'm going to pick the number 12 because it's the closest one. So now we're going to advance. And now we're going to edit our driver's look. So helmet, we're going to use, you guessed it already, we're going to use Aiden Jackson's helmet, because it looks quite good in the game with the good colour design. I was deciding between Casper Ackerman's and Aiden Jackson's, but I ended up picking Aiden Jackson. So now on to the suit selection. We're going to pick the bottom left one, and I'm going to change the colours of it, so you can copy the colours if you want to copy my team. I'm probably not going to sign an icon until like later seasons, but let me know if you want to see me sign an icon after season 1. Let me know who you think you want me to sign as the next teammate. After the teammate, you will find out shortly. But now on to the gloves. We're going to be using them gloves. They're called the band gloves. And we're going to put the same colours as the suit. I just forgot to change the blue to orange. And now, I'm just changing the colour to that. And now we're going to look at the character poses. As we're just going to select it to I'm ready, just the default one. Now on to podium emotes. We're going to select, not much concert to celebration and victory radio call. Let's have a listen to some of these.
Thank you. I need a moment. Yeehaw! That was on fire.
But yeah, we're gonna start the I Need a Moment one, and actually I think like the voice was actually like Aiden Jackson's.
First thing we
And now
need
it's
to do is
time.
register a team name and bring in some important partners. First,
Now it's time to get into the team details.
choose our primary
As we're gonna
sponsors
set
for the
it.
season. Some sponsors offer a larger signing bonus up front. Some offer more weekly income. The better we perform, the more our level will go up as the team gains more acclaim. Doing this will increase the income from our sponsors.
So then now we're going to pick a sponsor. I've called the team 141 Motorsport because it's like the channel name. And we are going to pick Echo as the primary sponsor because it says as a team achieve 2 points finishes during the season, and that's actually going to be quite hard because we are a new Team 2 Formula 1. So I thought let's pick a average one. It also gives us a goal bonus of 3.92 million and a weekly income of 263.2k, and it gives us a signing bonus of 4.6 million. So I decided to go with that.
Our chassis won't be going anywhere fast without power units. So let's sign one of those now. Obviously, the greater the
And then so now onto the chassis. I did a vote on my Instagram story, and make sure you go follow my Instagram, link in the description down below, and also it's on a about page on my channel.
Power unit suppliers will also provide upgrades throughout the
And I've just
season.
been talking over this guy, I am sorry. But we're going to be picking the engine supplier of Mercedes.
We're not much of a team without a second driver. Let's sign a teammate. Here are the drivers in.
So now we're going to move into the second driver.
Look at their stats and pick someone you think will get us good results. As long as we can afford them. We renew contracts periodically, so you have plenty of chances to sign someone else should the need arise.
Right then, so I thought at the start we were going to pick Roy Nassani. I did do a vote on my Instagram again, and people said Callum Ilott, but he's not in my save, so I decided that I was looking at the focus stat for a while, so I thought, well, let's go for somebody who has a high focus stat but then also has a quite good pace because I want them to be a fast driver. So I decided I could just keep scrolling along this same page, and we're going to pick Guan Yu Zhou as our teammate. He's going to cost 800k.
Go ahead and confirm if you're happy.
So now we picked all that, we're going to confirm their settings.
We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
And now we're going to create a livery, and I will see you on the other side when we create our livery. So here we are then, we've created our livery. I've gone with channel colours. Now I'm going to pick a personal sticker to go on the halo, and that we picked the Michael Schumacher one
We need
because
to consider our brand, our badge, and team colours.
it was very iconic, and now we're picking our team badge. And so for the background, we're going to pick the circle one, and we're going to colour that black because it looks quite nice. I did press B on that one, so that's why it comes up with a warning. Discard change. I did press cancel. And now I'm going to move on to the Embles, which I decided to pick the, I think it was like a plane kind of. So I decided to pick that one. I was just scrolling through all of them, but then I eventually decided to pick this one here. It's called the Pointer. So we're going to change the white to the orange, and that is going to be our team badge, which you kind of saw in the thumbnail as well. And now we'll go for team colours, which are going to be red, orange and black. I mean white. And yeah. And so now I'm going to change the black to white because it makes it look nice.
Great. That's
And
everything
so
we
now we're
need.
going to advance.
You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to the team HQ. We can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
So yep, as the person said, we're going to make our jump to Formula 1, and now here is the opening cutscene.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. As you can see, there's no pit lane behind me, and as you can hear, no roar of engines, and that's because they've set me free from the F1 paddock to escape here to the countryside and to the headquarters of Formula One's newest team. Now, it's not every day we get to pull back the curtain and look behind the scenes at an F1 team. Rarer still that we get to talk not only to the team owner, but also the team's lead driver. But what makes this place extra special is that the owner and lead driver are one and the same person. Now, it's been an interesting 12 months, and we all know a number of the regulation changes which were due to come into effect this year have been delayed until next. Some, though, are still seeing the light of day, amongst them the all-important budget cap, which gives some of the smaller teams a little further down the order, potentially, the opportunity to compete with the bigger teams. Good for them, but great for us as viewers. But what does our new team owner think about these new rules? Do they see them as a challenge, a hurdle that needs to be overcome? Perhaps they see them as an opportunity to disrupt the status quo, a chance to come out swinging and to carve their name into Formula One history. Well, I had the opportunity to ask them these very questions just earlier today, and here's what they had to say. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
So I decided to pick. I just don't know if he's in. Oh yeah, he has. Decided to pick the bottom one. This isn't just about
Let's
me.
talk
it's about
about your
the whole team.
teammate.
Our
Now, it's clear
100%
they're
behind me.
excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team?
And so for this one, I decided to pick the I picked the Rosina lot, like on paper.
So you've
see a lot
obviously been
and
putting a
potentially in
lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there?
Now for this one, I decided to pick that the simulator looks good, but we won't.
Most of the
And
other
we have
teams
on
can
the
boast
track.
years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars?
And so for this one, I decided to pick the bottom one that.
Ultimately,
this
your
era has
success
got.
this
That's got the
season is going to
powertrain.
come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles?
And so for this one, I decided to pick the bottom one again, which was everyone's in just a race. It's a whole season, and that.
And finally,
got the
with so
durability
many
department
specialist
noticed.
departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now?
And so for this final question, I decided to pick the bottom one, which is the attention to the whole chassis. So that's a chassis.
Thank you
They've got
so
the
much for
net
your
as well.
time. Been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
So now let's go into the Team HQ for the first time, and the car is under wraps. So now we're going to check our activities, and we're going to pick driver training camp to increase Guan Yu shows all these driver stats, and then after the car reveal, we're going to be doing it's either an aero and chassis or a power and durability. I think I picked the aero and the chassis. I don't know, I was kind of playing around. Yeah, I picked the aero and the chassis focus, which is going to get us a bit of morale on the aero and the chassis. So I got a few emails and to look up. I got Pierre, which is our new race engineer, which got some facility upgrades. You just talk about stuff, so now we're going to go check those facilities out. So first up, we've got the aerodynamic facility, so we've got fabrication, build time, quality control, resource point generation, chassis. We've got spec 1 and everything, personnel. So basically, all the other ones are spec 0 apart from the chassis, which is all spec 1. So now we're going to move into the R&D. I'm showing the different tabs at the moment. So we've got the contracts and the driver market, which we have the icons in. Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, both 13 and 12 million. Jen Spartan, Nico Rosberg, David Coulthard, and Felipe Massa. They are the icons, and Alan Prost as well. So they're the icons that were added into the game. So let me know down in the comments below which icon you want me to sign first, either after season 1 or after when we get the first when we get the first driver transfer thing. And now we're going to move into the driver standings, and there you go. And now we're going to go back to the R&D screen. I'm going to apply some upgrades. So we're going to do the front wing main flap. I think I did. No, I went out and went into the chassis, because we're going to do are we actually going to do any upgrades? I think we are. We're just going through the different screens. It's basically still an R&D tree. It's just a little bit different. So they've changed stuff about. And so now we're going to do that chassis rear floor under tray distribution upgrade, and that's going to come just before the Bahrain Grand Prix. So that's a 30% failure chance. Now it comes 16 days. And now we're going to do the front wing main flap upgrade, which is only minor, but it'll cost us 500 R&D points, and that'll come after the Bahrain Grand Prix and ready for the Spanish Grand Prix. So that's going to take 20 days to arrive. And so now we're going to go back to, we're going to look at the R&D in progress and the progress history. So a lot of teams improved, and now we got 2 minors on the way. And then we're going to skip to the timeline where we're going to advance. So there's the driver training camp thing for Guan Yu Zhou and some weekly resource points. And now we are here on the 16th of March for the car reveal. So here is the car. There she is. The 141 Motorsport 001 is what I'm calling it. And now we're going to go back into the R&D. No, I'm just going to go back through the menus. And we have to be level 5 to get our next sponsor. So now we're just going to go back and we're going to advance time now. So we get some more R&D points on the 22nd. So we get another 150. We've got the air and chassis focus. And we are now here. Our chassis upgrade has arrived, and we're now here for the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend. So now let's jump into the laptop at the thing. So here we are then. We're in the emails, and just a confirmation of the developments that have been completed. Weather forecast, no rain expected. So now let's go and jump into practice. So here we are. This is Jeff just talking over, but for some reason Jeff is muted. I don't know, but we will hopefully hear him by the next episode, hopefully. If not, then it is just a glitch with the Xbox version of the F1 game. But now let's go ahead and fire her up. Oh, that does sound good. And on the sticker we have the sticker that says "First you have to finish" from Michael Schumacher, as now we complete our, I don't know what practice program I just did, probably race strategy. So now we're going to move, and this is like after I finished my lap, and this is just to show how deadly the curbs are this year. I got on the curb and I lost the back end and we've crashed. So now we're going to move into practice 2, which I actually used the quick practice thing on. It's a new game, it's like a game in the F1 game. So we're just going to do the track acclimatization for practice 2, and here we have a speed thing, speed it up because it of everything, and that was it. So now after FP1 we get about 600 odd R&D points. We get a lot of discounts on some parts so we can upgrade them. That's also what you get as well in the little mini game practice things. We get about 6, maybe 7 upgrade discounts on it. And now we're going to move into the team acclaim, which we need to get level 5 to get our next sponsor, so we get 12% combined acclaim boost. And so now we are going to move into our first qualifying session of the series. And so here we are then for qualifying. If you want to know what my setup is, I will put it down in the description down below so you can use it. I think we're running like 6-9 wings, so here we go then, out on the track. For the first time we're going to drive this car in anger, so let's go for a lap around the Bahrain circuit, and I will commentate it. So we're just going to drive out of the garage now. It just sounds so good. And now we're going to move on to the first lap that I did. It wasn't the best lap, so I'm going to commentate over it. So you want to go 4th gear around the final corner. You want to put the power down. You want to try to get up into 8th gear before you cross the line, opening up DRS. And you want to brake about just before about 125 meters. You want to go down to about 1st gear to get extra rotation. I missed the apex there, and now you just want to go ramp up the gears, open up DRS as we go down now into turn number 4. You want to brake about the 100 meter bod down to 3rd gear. You want to short shift up to 4th gear, take as much curb as you want, and now into the S's. This is where we spun and go a bit over the curb there. It's a bit of a scruffy lap. We go wide at turn 8, and now we go down into the tricky turn 9, turn 10 section, and go down to 1st gear. The back end slides out, downshifted a bit too quickly there. There's now we open up DRS for the 3rd time, and now we go down the back straight. You want to brake just about the 75 meters and go down to 5th gear and just 7th gear around the long right corner, and you want to don't touch that curb on the right as you will spin out, as now we go down into the final corner, you want to ride over that curb a bit on entry. You want down to 4th gear and up to fit, and then you want to short shift, or try short shift, open up DRS and across to the line, and we set a 1 minute 28.4, which puts us basically last. And now we're going to move on to my best lap of the qualifying session, so I'm going to leave you with the full lap and hope you enjoy. And across the line, just at a 1 minute 27.4, basically a full second gain. And now I did go out for a third run right at the end of the session, and you'd see right now we actually get a DRS failure, so that is basically our qualifying over. And so we finish the session. Bottas finishes top of the session of Q1, and as we go down the list, as you see, Guan Yu Zhou out-qualifies us in P19 and we finished P20. He out-qualified us by about a 10th, and now we're going to move into a quick interview.
It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season.
Yeah, I think we have focused on research and development, and it wasn't the best lap, but I think we put a lot of power into our power unit, and yeah, I think the reason we weren't quick is because I made a few mistakes.
Will this be a problem tomorrow?
I think it might be, but the car, at least if the car lasts the race, then we've got a good chance of getting some points. And now after that, we're going to move into the team acclaim, and we're going to move up to level 2 on the team acclaim, and now we're going to move into the start of the race.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where it's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Vettel, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Mazepin and Guan Yu Zhou and Jackson, Russell, Latifi, Tsunoda. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So here we are then on the grid in P18. We do benefit from 2 grid penalties from Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher. And so race strategy today is going to be a one-stop from medium to hard. And we're going to box on up 18. And we're going to put exactly 29 laps of fuel in the car, because you can only use one engine mode, which is standard, apart from under safety car where you can put it to lean. But that only works in like 25-50% races. It doesn't work in like 5 laps. But now we are going to get into the race start, and let's hope we have a good start. So here we go then, 2, 5 red lights, and we didn't get the revs to a good region, but it's lights out and away we go. We get a good start. We're gonna deploy the ERS, and now here we go down into turn number 1. We're gonna send it right down the inside. Codemasters still haven't fixed the AI from leaving the door wide open on the inside. And get a bit over the curve there. Oh, bit of twitchy. Had to wrestle with the steering wheel a bit there. And now let's go down into turn 4 for the first time, and I pick up a bit of understeer there, and it gets even worse going through this next part. As you can see, we're like going all the way across the track. We're going to leave. And I've just come over the radio saying we need to change our strategy. I checked the front wing, it looks fine, but it's actually not. We have a little bit of damage on the left side of the front wing. As Science goes for audacious move around the outside, and he just locks up and goes extremely wide. They have improved the air mistakes as well from last year's game. Oh, and we get a big nudge up the rear from, I think that was Charles Leclerc. And then we squeeze him out as Stroll gets past now, and we get a big wash of understeer there. Stroll is going to get past. I try for the switchback, but I just can't because I don't have the downforce. So Stroll's got away, so now we're down into P9. But we've gained about 8 positions off the start, so that's pretty good. And now we move on to lap number 2, and we've got Leclerc pondering us behind, and I move to the left, and I move back to the racing line, and we go down into turn 1 again. As now I'm just going to settle into the race, try find a bit of a rhythm. As Leclerc is getting quite close to us now. He might go for one. As we run extremely wide. Well, not really wide, but I'm really struggling on these medium tyres, and now let's have another look at that race start. So, as you can see, we're also using the new spectator mode, which has the leaderboard. So let me know down in the comments if you like me using this. And so yeah, you can see we go right down the inside up into P8, and everybody actually got away well. Hamilton, I think, lost Sainz actually made us do that, as I just saw on that replay. As Verstappen and Hamilton up the road are actually battling, so they're going side by side. And Hamilton is now taking back P2 from Max Verstappen, but now we're keeping on board with myself, as now I go down into the tricky hairpin, and Sainz is actually alongside us, and now we're going to go on board with myself, and there goes Sainz just going straight on. And now we're going to look at the leaderboard on lap number 2. So it's Valtteri Bottas that leads the way ahead of Max Verstappen, followed by Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton in P4. And Hamilton has dropped a few places off the start, so there's Ricardo in P5, followed by Vettel, Norris, Stroll, myself, Leclerc, and rounds out the top 10. And then outside of the top 10 at this stage on lap 2, we have, so you see myself and Charles Leclerc getting quite close to us there. And but this camera angle is quite good. And now easy going. Now we go on board with Pierre. We follow Pierre Gasly for a bit now, and we're just going through the order at the moment. And then it's Mick Schumacher in a lofty P12 ahead of Fernando Alonso, who's quite struggling in the first Alpine. Then Raikkonen, and then Ocon in the second Alpine, quite struggling now, and so is Giovinazzi, so both Alfa Romeos, and so is Yuki Tsunoda, who actually picked up a penalty there in the AlphaTauri, followed by Nikita Mazepin, Guan Yu Zhou, Russell Latifi, and Carlos Sainz was actually quite behind. But now, as we go back on board with ourselves, and Leclerc's going to send one up the inside after the, I don't know what turn this is actually, as he's actually going to get past now, so now down into P10. But now we're going to send one around the outside. Oh, we looked around the outside. See, we're even having to go into third gear, whereas qualifying we're going to fourth gear around the final corner. It shows how much we're struggling with the front wing damage, as the ERS is now enabled on lap number 3. We're going to try to send one around the outside again. I tried for the switchback, but I just couldn't get it again. As now we're going to go down on the back straight. We're going to get DRS for the first time this race. And we're going to try and follow Charles Leclerc, but we're just not going to get close enough down on the straight. As now we get a big wash of understeer and dirty air there. As now we've got Pierre Gasly, as we run a bit wide again at that same corner we always run wide at. As we now got Gasly behind, and he is going to try and look. Is he going to try and look for a move into the tricky turn? I don't think he will. No, he's not going to, but he's going to get a great run off of turn 10. And now as we go down the back straight, he's going to have DRS, where you're trying to use our overtake. And now we go down into turn 11, and he's going to push us wide off the track with our front wing damage as well. And he's going to get through on the inside. As I tried to fight back, but I just can't. I can't put the power down, as now Mick Schumacher's going to try to get past us. We try to go around the outside, and I've gone deep as now Mick Schumacher, and that's invited Fernando Alonso to get by. And as you can see there, we've now got a lime front left wing. As now we're going to go onto the main straight again, having to go into third gear to get that rotation, because and now Pierre Gasly is going to pit at the end of lap 4, I think that was. Then we move on to lap 5. Ocon gets past us, but we're going to send one down the inside and at turn 1, and that is going to bring us back and up into P12. Now I'm just checking the engine temperatures, they're alright. Now we are got, I'm just going to stay on board now, because I am seriously struggling. But now we're going to move on to, now this is actually the same lap, but we've moved on to the back straight now, and Esteban Ocon is going to go down the inside, and he's going to make the move work. Oh, we get quite close there, and we're going to get the place back. But again, I'm just having to lift off because of the front wing damage. And now we're going to keep looking behind us, because Ocon could come pouncing at any moment. We now go into the final corner again, having to go third gear. We're really struggling on these medium tyres with the front wing damage. And now we're going to go down the front straight, going on to lap number 6 now, and Ocon is going to come at a rate of knots. He's going to try and look around the outside, but we've got the inside line, so we're just going to cut him off there. And now we're going to go down the back straight, down into turn number 4, and you can see there we've got that same lime green front wing. So now we're going to move on to lap number 7. At the end of lap number 7, again we're going a bit wide there, and now Ocon's going to come out of nowhere. We get a big twitch on the rear end, and that's going to invite Ocon through, but we're going to deploy ERS all the way down the straight, and we're going to get the place back. And now he comes out of nowhere, so we have to correct our steering, and we're going to get the move down around the outside of the final corner, but Ocon's going to get that DRS. I was actually quite annoyed about this one. And now he's going to get the run down into turn 1. He's going to take to the outside, and we can't do anything. So we're going to try to dive down the inside again, but we make contact, and there goes another bit of our front wing. And we've lost places to now. We've lost 11th place now to Yuki Tsunoda, as actually, some cars pitting. I probably have. And now we've got a yellow front wing now, and on lap number 8, we're going to just call it a day, and we're going to come into the pits to get off these medium tyres, and we're going to change the front wing. As you are going to see here, I get on the team radio and I'm going to say box this lap, and that is what we're going to do at the end of this lap. We've got Stroll catching behind us, he's only 8 tenths behind us, and now we're going to come into the pit lane for our first stop of this whole series, and it's going to be a front wing change. So here we go then, down, we got the last pit box as Giovinazzi pits behind us, and so we're going to get our front wing changed. And we're going to 7.8 seconds stop, and what I'm going to do for the next episode as well is just move the gear thing up onto the top of the halo because it kind of covers up the sticker. So I'll make sure to change that for next episode. And now we're on the hard compound tyres, and get a little bit of twitch there because I got too much curb. And now we move on to lap number 10, the next lap, and we set a new personal best, which is a full second quicker than what our time was on our medium tyres. And now we're going to move on to lap number 12, where something we're just going through the end of the first sector, and to the second sector we take a bit too much curb and the car spins, and we're going in the gravel and we're in the wall and we're out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now we're going to get a replay on that from the off-board, and we get a bit too much over the curb. The rear end steps out and we hop over the gravel and we're out. Here is an on-board, and yep, too much curb. I tried to go full lock and we hop over the gravel, crash into the wall, and that's going to be our race over. So we're going to retire from the session.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the desert. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So then.
And so that is a disappointing way to end our first race, but Lewis Hamilton picks up the win with Verstappen and Ricciardo Brown off the podium, followed by Lando Norris, Perez, Vettel, Stroll, Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda and Charles Leclerc run out top 10. Just listed out on the points, we have Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Carlos Sainz, Raikkonen, Russell, Guanyu Zhou, Mazepin and Latifi, who was a lap down, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Bottas, who was a surprise result, and myself not finishing the race. And so now we're going to look at the acclaim. I probably already said that, but we're going to gain more acclaim. And now we're going to look at the cash. Now, I got 40k deduction from damage deductions because I crashed. So you get 10k. So now I'm on $1.67 million. Now we're back into the HQ. And we've got a personal department event, which are new to the game, but I'm going to set that till next time. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more. But that's been me, I'm 141. Make sure to subscribe for more weekly formal content. But that's been me, I'm 141. Over and out. Peace.